Yeah.
And then there are also so many asset classes. Now people say that pretty much everything can be tokenized, right?
Right.
Now, so how would you really look at the different asset classes and what is easy to tokenize? And maybe we can just talk a little bit about that and then jump into maybe dive deeper after that.
Yeah. I mean, because I've been really early in this industry, I'd say that the idea of just tokenizing the world is a great tagline,
Right.
but I wouldn't say that it's the best tagline, right?
Yeah.
So ultimately, there always needs to be a buy side.
Yeah.
There needs to be demand. And ultimately, when you kind of look at this, there's two things. There's a regulatory framework from one side,
Yeah.
and how your assets fit into that framework
Yeah.
to tokenize them, which we
Yeah.
can get into. And then there's obviously what the market wants. What is there a problem solution being solved? Is there a buy side demand?
Yeah.
So what that means is when you run through that filter very simply, all assets don't need to be tokenized right now based on those simple filters. Like, is it easy and compliant? Can you
Yeah.
do it? Is there a framework that you can fit into that makes this work? Is your legal department okay with it? And is there a problem solution buy side use case? Right. So like when you look at that, that's why you see things. The first RWA is digital dollars, right? So you use stable coins. That was the most obvious because it was easy to take a dollar and digitize it, right? So that's where I look at this from really strong use cases. I would say that one of the best ones, as we saw as this moved up the chain, was money market funds and T-bills, right? So taking other very standardized items, standardized assets and securities, and looking at ways that they can be standardized through a tokenization process. Because tokenization is, in a lot of cases, looking at like a table, like essentially a checkbox of what parts of that asset exist, and how do you digitize that asset so that it matches the legal framework and so that asset doesn't change. You don't want that to change. So ultimately, that's one of the biggest things I look at. And of course, when you look up the ladder of tokenization, the furthest thing out in a lot of cases is real estate, because there's so many, especially in the United States, there's so many regulatory and municipality and local frameworks as it relates to the title and the deed and how things are transferred, that it becomes hard. On the flip side, mortgages, loans, like for banks, taking their loan portfolios and tokenizing them, those are pretty clear frameworks because they're individual loans that can be tokenized.